You can't escape it, right? AI is everywhere. But this isn't just some tech fad, it's a full blown economic gold rush. So, in this explainer, we're going to follow the money. We'll see who's pouring in billions, what that's doing to the job market, and then we're going to look at the next wave of AI that's poised to change everything. All over again. Ready? Let's get into it. Okay, first things first, let's just talk about the sheer scale here. In 2024 alone, corporations invested a jaw-dropping $252.3 billion into AI. That's a 26% jump from the year before. I mean, think about that. This isn't just steady growth. It's like a fire hose of cash being pointed directly at reshaping the global economy. And you better believe all that money is making an impact. I mean, it's leading to insane levels of adoption. In 2024, a full 78% of organizations reported using AI. Now get this, just 1 year earlier, that number was barely over half, at 55%. So yeah, AI officially left the R&D lab and walked right into the heart of business operations, and it basically happened overnight. And just so we're clear, this isn't some flash in the pan. This boom we're seeing right now, it's been building for a decade. Since 2014, total investment has skyrocketed. We're talking more than 13 times bigger. This shows you this is a sustained, long-term bet that the entire global economy is placing on artificial intelligence. All right, so with all these billions flooding in, you gotta ask, where is it all going? Let's follow that money trail and see who's winning this high-stakes race for AI dominance. Well, 2024 was an absolute feeding frenzy of mega deals. You had these massive acquisitions like Synopsys buying Ansys for a cool $35 billion. Then you had strategic talent grabs, like Microsoft's $650 million deal with Inflection AI. And on top of all that, the funding rounds were just staggering. OpenAI raised billions at a valuation that's just mind-blowing. Databricks closed a $10 billion round. Look, every single one of these deals, it's a battle in the much larger war for talent, for tech, and for market share. And you know, this race has some really clear geopolitical lines drawn in the sand. I mean, the numbers here paint a stark picture. In 2024, private AI investment in the US topped $100 billion. Compare that to China at just over $9 billion. That's nearly 12 times more. This isn't just a gap, folks, it's a chasm. And it's defining who holds the power in AI development right now. So with all this investment, it's obviously having a massive, tangible impact on the workforce. It is fundamentally changing the job market and, what it even means to have a valuable skill anymore. The shift over the last decade is, well, it's pretty dramatic. If you look back to around 2014, the top skills were all about managing projects, things like agile methodology. Fast forward to today, and that list is completely dominated by hard technical skills. Python, computer science, data analysis. These are the essentials now. In fact, job postings just for Python have shot up by over 500%. The message here couldn't be clearer. The ability to actually build and analyze is the new currency in the job market. And look, this isn't just a Silicon Valley thing. Not anymore. These AI skills are now required in pretty much every industry. Sure, the information sector leads the pack, but we're seeing this trend pop up everywhere, from finance and manufacturing all the way to agriculture. What we're witnessing is a universal transformation of the workforce. Okay, so we've got this tidal wave of money, a complete reshaping of the workforce. But what does it all lead to? Because all of this is really just stage one. This entire boom is just building the foundation for something even bigger, something far more transformative. And that something is called agentic AI. This right here is the next great leap forward. It's what's going to take us from the AI we're all getting used to today to something way more powerful and autonomous. So what exactly is agentic AI? Well, think of it like this. The AI we use today is a really powerful tool, right? You operate it, you give it a prompt, it gives you back a response. Agentic AI is totally different. It's more like an autonomous worker. You give it a complex goal, not just a simple prompt, and it can actually reason, plan, and then execute a whole series of tasks all on its own to get that goal accomplished. It's the critical shift from AI as a co-pilot to AI as the pilot. And this quote right here, it just nails the core idea. Think about how we build software. Instead of creating one giant monolithic program that tries to do everything, it's usually way better to build lots of small, specialized services that all work together. Agentic AI is basically applying that exact same logic. It breaks down these huge, complex problems and assigns the pieces to a team of specialized AIs that then collaborate to get the job done. Okay, so how does this all work in the real world? Well, it really comes down to two key ideas:
building these AI teams, and, just as important, establishing the right level of trust.
See, instead of trying to build one single genius AI, the future is all about orchestration. So, you might have a researcher agent that scours the internet and all your internal data for information. Then, it passes its findings over to a coder agent, which writes the code for a solution. And finally, an analyst agent reviews the work, validates the results, and might even kick it back with suggestions for improvement. It's like a digital assembly line of intelligence.
But, and this is a really important but, this doesn't mean humans are out of the picture. Not at all. The key is that we get to choose the level of autonomy. For those low-stakes, repetitive tasks, yeah, let it run on full automation. But for moderate-risk decisions, you probably want supervised autonomy, where a human gives the final okay. And for the really high-stakes, critical calls, it stays human-led, with the AI agents acting as incredibly powerful assistants. The goal here is smart collaboration, not blind replacement. Now, this shift towards agentic AI, it isn't just a new feature being added to an app. This is creating an entirely new business ecosystem. And like any new ecosystem, it's going to have its own set of winners and losers.
And we can already see a three-tier market starting to take shape. At the very foundation, you've got the hyperscalers, the giants providing the raw computing power and the base models. Then in the middle tier, you have the big incumbent software companies, and they are scrambling to embed these agentic features into their existing products. But it's this top tier where the real disruption might come from. These are the agent-native startups, the ones building from the ground up where autonomous agents aren't just a feature, they are the entire product.
And that brings us to the billion-dollar, maybe trillion-dollar question that's going to define the next decade of tech and business. Are today's giants nimble enough to really transform and adapt to this new agent-first world? Or are they about to be disrupted by a whole new wave of startups that were basically born for this moment?
One thing is for sure, the foundation has been laid, the money has been poured in, and this next great technological restructuring, it isn't something that's on the horizon anymore. It's already here.